Welcome back to another video.
Welcome back to another episode of the What She Said podcast.
Episode number 2.
Are we actually keeping that in?
Yeah.
Okay.
So welcome back, as we said, to another video, episode number 2. First off, we want to start off by thanking everyone for their support on the last video. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
It was so surprising. Like, we actually got like a ton of like replies and comments and like support, and I was like, whoa, this is like
unexpected.
Did you pause it? We really appreciate everything and anything you guys say. If it's either bad or good criticism, like, please, good criticism, but please say something nice. But you know, if it's something we could like get better at, please let us know.
So in this episode, we're gonna use the card game that we used last time.
The main question today would be like, how would you have raised yourself?
I say that I would have raised myself to be more accepting of mistakes. I feel like if people were more accepting of mistakes, then they'd be more willing to make them, to take risks. And I feel like a lot of people hold themselves back because of it, since like at a young age, whenever like a little kid makes a mistake, they're like yelled at for it. And especially like being raised in a Mexican household, that's something that
you get like held really accountable for like the smallest mistakes you make. Like with me, looking at my younger sisters and like the mistakes they make, it's like they get yelled at real quick by like, even if they accidentally drop something. They're kids, like of course they're gonna make mistakes, and if you like show them how bad a simple mistake like that can make you feel, it'll grow with them, and they just won't be as risk taking in the future, like you said.
Like a lot of the mistakes that little kids make are so easily fixable. Whenever like little kids get yelled at for like the smallest things, you scare them in a way, and then they won't want to do it anymore. So then when they grow up, then that's the same way they'll be. Like, and you see that a lot in adults, and then they go on to repeat that same mistake when they raise their own children. That's definitely how I would have raised myself. I say in a way I was kind of raised like that. When I was younger though, I was kind of like, like sheltered maybe a little bit more. And so I like wasn't that big of a risk taker, just because like, I gotta take care of her. And plus I'm an only child, so
I feel like that really affects like how you were raised as like an only child.
Ooh, only child lore. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I also like wish I would have raised myself to have like I would have given myself a sibling.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's really needed. Like I know a lot of kids, like a lot of like people, like oh, I hate my sibling. Like, oh, they're so annoying. You don't want a sibling, but in a way, you would not like. And when you're older, you're gonna grow up and you're gonna have your own little best friend, And it's just like, I know you will.
Low-key, I was gonna be like, I would have raised myself as like the only child.
Bro, but, oh my gosh.
No, it's not like I don't like my sisters, because I do. I love them, right? But I feel like this parental like control over them, like from a young age, like I was the only child for 6 years, and those 6 years were probably like, they really did build me to like the main person I am today, because that was 6 years is a lot. Like once you're like 6 years old, that's like you already gathered your personality, everything. And you go off from that. But when my sister was born, it was like really, really quickly. Like since she was born like premature too, like I think she was like 4 months. Like my mom was like 4 months pregnant. God. Yeah, and she was born. Yeah, and that really like took all of the attention off of me to my sister, like all of it.
Yeah.
I remember like we went to the hospital every single day, and we went home. It was just me and my dad going home, because my mom stayed over at the hospital, because like her kid, and it was just no attention. We just got home. He got me like McDonald's to eat, and we just slept. We woke up, He sent me to school. After school, I went to the hospital. It was like, and it was just really bad for like at such a young age to have like such a drastic change of
Yeah.
attention. With my other sister, now I was 12 when my mom had my other sister, so I was like, that's when everything like went downhill. Like I was like, ugh,
Overwhelmed.
babysitter,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I was just like, if only like, if only I was the only child. I don't want to be like, oh, if only they weren't born, because like God blessed
Mm-hmm.
this family.
No, yeah, because
Yeah,
I think it also just depends on how like the parent gives
yeah,
attention also. Like really carefully to make sure no one feels left out.
yeah. That's
Mm.
that's how I would have raised myself. If I would love to have siblings, but if the attention would have been divided equally among us, I feel like that would have been better. And also, I feel like you said, I was also very like restricted, or what did you say? Like you were like really taken care of. Like,
Sheltered.
yes, sheltered. You said sheltered, yeah.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I was, me. I was like, I wanted to be out there. I wanted to be like had fun, like run around, like at parties,
Mm-hmm.
like I want to run around. Like every single time, like even today, we go to parties and like the family members are like, oh my god, like Andrea, she always just like sits next to you.
Literally
She always just
me.
sits next to you and
Literally
doesn't
me.
move, doesn't talk, doesn't. She looks like a doll. And I was like, oh, a doll. Like a doll's really cute, really pretty. Like my mom always used to tell me like, oh, you're such a doll, such a doll. And like, but like, I really wanted to like run around, live happily, not be secluded from others. Like, but like I said, when I was like the only child at 6 years old, like that's when I was like, oh, stay here, sit next to me, don't move, stay still, don't run, don't, you know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh my god. And a crazy story from that is like I remember this party. I was like the only child, yeah. And there were all these kids. We were like outside and there was like a parking area, and those like the borders for the parking where you park at, like the little cement blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the little kids were like walking on top of it, like
Uh-huh.
balancing on it, and I was like, "Oh my god, mom, let me go, let me go. I want to do that too." And she's like, "No, you'll get hurt, you'll get hurt."
Yeah.
And that like still sticks with me because like just because I would like scrape a knee, like would I really even
Get hurt.
get hurt like that? And like
Mm-hmm.
she stopped me from having fun at a young age like that.
Yeah.
And now I feel like that really affects me now because now, like, any chance I'll get, I'll like go and have fun, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I know that that's something I was limited with when I was young. So now when I'm older, I want to like embrace it, like, and be out there, be outgoing, be extroverted.
Like I'm kind of the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm really shy. Like, um, I am a risk taker in some aspects. Like academically, yes, I will like be a risk taker. But like that's also like people say like I'm really book smart and I'm really like not street smart. Like I do
Oh.
not have street smart at all. Because like also because I'm kind of like sheltered.
Yeah.
I hate when people say I'm sheltered, but it's true. I am
Yeah.
really sheltered. And that makes me so paranoid and that like frustrates me also. I just want to go like out there
Yeah.
and like I'm gonna be 18 next year. I'm gonna go to college and
Yeah.
like I'm gonna be scared to like do stuff. I don't
Oh
want to
my
be
god.
scared.
No, yeah. Like this week, when like the 14th of next week, my mom is already like buying me so much stuff, like detergent, hand soap, Kleenex. I'm like, I don't even use Kleenex. Like
Yeah.
today, why would I use it over there? She's like, you never know, you're gonna be gone for a week without me, without
Mm.
everyone. I'm like,
Yeah, guys,
like
we
what
have
am I gonna do?
a college like little field trip thing. Like
Yeah,
a little college program we're gonna go to and
program.
like it's gonna give us like a little college experience and I feel like that's where I'll see like
Yeah,
how sheltered really am. No, I'm just kidding. But like how, like if I get my mitis or papitis, like you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like I will. Like I'm a
Oh my
big
god.
mom and dad
Yeah,
girl. Like,
my
uh,
mom. We'll see then. Like I'm excited, but I feel like the first day over there, I'm gonna like imagine like just with your roommate and just like sleeping. Like I'm gonna cry. Like I'm gonna cry.
oh
Like
my
oh my
god.
gosh.
I feel like also because I'm an only child, I like don't like sharing my stuff at all. A ver cómo me va.
No,
Sharing a
pues
room? Oh my
se me
god.
hace que las dos, cause with having siblings, I don't like to share my stuff either. Like it's just
uh,
maybe it's just us.
maybe it's just us.
Maybe it.
What's like something that your parents taught you that like you use now? Like
Now,
on a
like, okay.
day-to-day like basis,
Hmm.
like when you like go out or something, like in school, like what do you it's something that you use?
Um, well, my dad always told me, like, si lo vas a hacer, hazlo bien, si no, ni lo hagas. You know, it's like,
Mm,
if you're gonna do something, like, go all in. If you're not gonna do it well enough, then don't do it at all. Because,
mm,
like, why would you do something, like, half-hearted, half-assed?
yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I really, like, that really comes up to me, like, every single day. Because I'm like, should I really do it? If I am gonna do it, I'm gonna have to, like, go all in. And like, is it really worth my time, and would I really enjoy doing it, like, stuff like that. How about you?
I'd say something that my parents have taught me is not to talk bad about people because like you never know what they're going through, you know?
Oh yeah. Whoa.
Like
Whoa.
yeah,
That's
cuz whenever like I hear someone talk bad about my family, it's
yeah.
just like but you don't know, like uno nunca sabe. Y para qué hablar.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. That's why whenever like I catch myself like being a little judgy,
Yeah.
I stop myself. I'm like,
Really?
yeah, I'm like mejor no. Like no.
That's crazy that you just said that, because yesterday I was at a party yesterday, and like, my parents, they were like sitting in the corner, like, the party was like fresh, we
Hmm.
just got there. um we were sitting in the corner, and they were just like talking bad about everyone.
Oh,
My
oh
parents.
my god.
Yes. I actually had to step in. I was like, no digan eso. No digan eso. Por eso están acá, sentados solos, y la gente allá está platicando.
For
Por
real.
eso están acá.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I was like, no. Oh my God, that's so bad. Like, sometimes I feel like I have to, like, parent my parents. It's like horrible. I like, oh my gosh. And my dad
Mm-mm.
was like, no, pero no nos puede escuchar. Okay. Y si te pueden escuchar, dirías lo mismo? Like,
And
you
there's
wouldn't
like,
be
oh my god.
talking.
Yeah, there's this reoccurring pattern in like Hispanic culture. Well, I don't know if it's Hispanic culture or just like my family. I don't know. But they like all talk about people.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my god. Like, why are you talking about people?
Might be
Like,
Hispanic
you
culture.
never know. You
Yeah.
never know what's going on with their lives.
Oh, like, oh my God. And I hate it when my mom talks about bad about other people like that. Cause like, before she leaves, she's like, oh my God, these pants don't look good on me. Oh my God, this dress. Do I look
Hmm.
fat in it? And like, she comes out and talks bad about other people. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
such a hypocrite. Like, be for real.
Hmm.
No seas así.
That's why, guys, you should learn if someone talks bad about you, it's probably because they don't feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
So don't take it to heart.
Yeah. My dad for real did get humbled though, when I was like, that's why you're sitting over here and they're over there. Because we were literally sitting next to the trash can. And I was like,
Oh my
bro,
god!
I literally told him, I was like,
That's
people
funny.
in high school movies, if they sit next to the trash can, they're lame and have no friends. And they're like, okay, well,
Andrea did not hold
silenced.
back. Andrea humbled. She
Mm-mm.
knew what she was coming
I
for.
don't hold back, especially with them. And sometimes, oh my God, I hate it when I'm like schooling them or like parenting them and tell them like really great advice. And they're like, ¿y el respeto? ¿Y el respeto dónde está? ¿Dónde está? And I'm like, I'm just trying to help you out.
Yeah.
Hear me out. And they're just like, you can't talk to me like that. I'm your dad. I'm your mom. Please. I'm just trying to be nice.
And I think it also has to do with like the difference in age. Like as time goes on, like generation through generation,
Mm-hmm.
there's like different social rules
Yeah.
if you say.
No, yeah.
So like what they think is bad, we don't think it's
Yeah.
good. Like it's socially
Oh my
acceptable now.
God.
Like and that's why sometimes they call us like la generación de cristal, the like the fragile generation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I kind of get offended.
I
Like,
do too.
okay, yeah. Okay, no, I'm not. No, I'm not fragile. Okay, maybe. But no, I'm not.
No, yeah. Oh my
It's
gosh.
just like there's a place, there's a time and a place, and right now is not the time and the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But when you said like the cristal and fragile, because like my mom usually does, like, whenever she yells at me, like, rarely, occasionally, and I try to like hold back and like not fight back. But in reality, if I do like argue back, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't argue back with my parents like that. You should like not argue with me." And I'm like, "Okay, but you're not like the generation difference is like too big for you to like be comparing yourself to your parents and how you were with your parents and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes how they were raised, you know how they're like, oh, we want to raise you better than like how my our parents raised us. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, for sure. But sometimes it like still rubs off, like, and it's still like you can still see like a little bit of your like your grandparents in them. And that's like,
Oh.
yeah. And I'm just like, what happened to like, oh, we're gonna do better than them. You're acting
Mm.
just like them right now. And it's just something that I just can't. And like how you said, Cristal, if they like yell at me for a little like anything, I'm just like, okay. And I don't talk to them like all day. And my mom's like, and my mom's like, sí, ya ni te puedo decir nada. Te
Mm.
vas a tu cuarto y te encierras, ya ni te puedo decir nada. I'm like, I'm just a girl. Like, come on now.
That's how I am too. Like I literally would like shut down like, and I say I am big on communication, but after a while, let me cool off a little bit,
Yeah.
and then
Oh
we'll
yeah.
talk. I'll tell you why I'm mad. Yeah.
I'm like the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like whenever I'm mad, I don't talk about it at all. Yeah.
Really.
And when I'm really sad, like my parents can tell and they're like, ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué
Mhm.
pasó? I'm like sobbing, I'm sobbing, and I still don't say anything.
Mhm.
So I'm just like, they don't even know me for real.
Mm.
But like that sucks. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more open with them, talk about like my life with them. But it's just I don't know. I feel like they're gonna like judge me or like talk bad about me, how they talk bad about other people. They're gonna be like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So like that's even bad because like the if they talk bad about other people and I see this, I won't be open to like open up to them, because then
Mhm.
I'm gonna think that they're gonna talk bad about me. I don't know. This just sucks. But yeah, I would have raised myself totally different. Like, oh my gosh, maybe that's why in the future I do want a kid or
Just one
two,
kid. Mm.
max,
Max.
max two, max.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah,
Max too.
max. But three, um, I could tell like the second like my other sister was born,
Mhm.
like my middle sister, she was like
The middle
the
child.
middle child. And my mom's like, oh no, we treat you guys equally, but it's obvious that they don't, and that the middle child is like the middle child,
Mhm.
and she doesn't get as much attention and as much love and as much anything. And it's just like, be for real. Like that's why middle children like strong soldiers and like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. As an only child, I'd say it's not that bad. Just gets lonely, but
Yeah.
they'll be okay if it's really
If it's an only
small.
child, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might be lonely, like maybe like get you a puppy. But I feel like as the oldest, I feel like I just wouldn't put as much responsibility on like an oldest child as I had.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like that really like weighed down on me, and I was like,
Like you taking care of them a lot,
yeah,
or um.
yeah, like taking care of them a lot, and I feel like taking care of my parents a lot because like as the
Ooh.
oldest, I feel like my parents come to me for everything. They talk about me, about their problems, their life. I'm
Mm.
just like free therapy.
It
Yeah, but yeah, it's really bad.
gets overwhelming for you.
Yeah. But like it's okay over time. I learned to be like you can't talk like to me about your problems like this cuz it'll weigh down on me. And then like it's just like no, you can't do this. I'm not licensed for this.
You're a daughter, not
I'm
a
a
mother.
daughter. Yeah, I'm a daughter and not a mother. Like maybe that's why like I only want one or two kids coming back to that cuz I would raise them so differently. And like I'd be like determined to like help them not come out like me. I want them to be better.
Yeah.
So the next question is growing up, when did you feel the most different from other kids?
Um. I'll go. Whenever we would go to parties, like how you said,
Mm-hmm.
they would all be outside,
Yeah.
and I'd just be inside. I was not allowed to leave like the inside.
Mm.
Uh, to go outside
Yeah.
because like there's always like the fear of kidnapping and stuff. Or like
Yeah.
when we're like a house party,
Yeah.
like we'd be in the backyard. I couldn't go to the front yard where
No,
like all
yeah,
the
yeah,
cool
yeah, yeah, yeah.
kids would be.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah, and
That's tea.
yeah, and so I'd be like, oh, like I don't want
You'd
to go
feel
out.
left out.
Yeah, but looking back, that's a pretty logical thing for a parent to do because, I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't see your child running and playing around, then like I would be kind of worried, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh gosh, wait, or like, is the question asking like when you're with in a group of kids, like,
When did you feel the most different? No, I feel like, I mean, you can add that like in a group of kids, like,
oh, I'd say when like they have their own interest, like they share similar interests, and like I'm just left out. Like I
yeah.
don't share their same interests.
Oh,
And it's just like,
yeah.
oh.
I feel like I that happens to me a lot, and I try to like look into their interests and like
Mhm.
I like mold into them at like in some
Yeah.
like how
Mm.
yeah.
Now it would definitely be like if they don't have the same humor as me, because if they don't have the same,
Mm,
or if they're not like
yeah.
giving me like the same vibe that I'm giving, then I just kind of like step back, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
they're just not like reciprocating it back, so maybe I'm bothering them. I don't know.
They wouldn't get us. They wouldn't
Like
get the humor.
you want to get the Andrea lore.
They wouldn't. But yeah. So for me, when I feel most different, I feel like the same thing like as you. I feel like it's kind of like normal for like my mom to be like, "Oh no, you can't go over there. It's dangerous." Like I understand, okay? But then now when I'm older, she still does the same thing.
Mm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know if I should like still sit next to her at parties or like
Mhm.
go out, you know? Cuz like I remember at this one party, my cousin's birthday, I remember the kids were going to go out and get like go to like the La Michoacana to get
Mhm.
ice cream, and I was like, "Oh my god, ma, can I go? Can I go?" And she's like, "No. You can't go. It's dangerous." And
Oh.
I'm like,
Mhm.
this was like
I
a year ago.
understand.
But like,
Yeah,
yeah, and I'm just like, ah,
I know that
I'm like,
feeling.
"What?" Like I think I'm old enough to take care of myself. She's like, "No, you never know. Uno nunca sabe."
Mhm.
And I was like, it's right around the corner, ma.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when I felt left out and like, yeah. But I feel like in a group of friends, when, oof, when I'm like not as smart, yeah,
Mm.
when they're
Oh.
like, when they, when they're like, you know, more intelligent than me, better knowing of a topic, like you said,
Mhm.
and that just makes me feel like, oh, like I can't really talk about what they're talking about. I have to like stay back and like not talk, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, because like if you bring up a topic that I really know, that's when I like, that's like the real me comes out, you know? But then it's hard to find people that are really like interested in the same topics as me, you know? Which I don't even know, because like if I really think about it, like, what do I even like talk about? Because like when I was thinking about questions for the podcast, I was like, hmm, asking around, and like just talk about what you know, what you know more most about what you're interested in, and just talk about that and like what am I interested in? Hmm. Like who really am I, you know? Like I'm not just like the oldest daughter, does really good at school, does a lot of sports, you know? Like what like deeper within me, like quién es
I think you're a little bit of everything.
really?
That all makes you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what makes you you.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot too.
Me too.
Like I'm all these things, but which one of them really am
Yeah.
I?
Yeah, cuz like I feel like since I am a little bit of everything,
Mhm.
but I didn't really stick with one thing and make it my thing, you know?
Mm.
Yeah. And my dad
Yeah.
talks about this like in sports wise a lot, cuz I did volleyball, I did soccer, I do tennis.
Mhm.
And he's just like, you know, why didn't you just stick with one and like become a pro at it? I'm just like, I don't know. Cause like I just wanted to dabble a little bit in everything. And I feel like that's just how I am, you know?
Mm. Yeah.
But I would love to like stick with something and be like, oh yeah, I did this all 4 years. I'm a pro. I'm determined. But I feel like I just couldn't stick with it. I'm gonna do soccer though. I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah.
And like tennis is new, so you know. Yeah.
I think being able to say that you've done something for years is such a privilege.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I was gonna do volleyball just to say that, but it was not the best environment for me, so I had to like step out. Cause like I feel like for you, like cross country, you've done it all 4 years. Well, you're gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like
Mhm. but
Piano?
I still wouldn't say that that's like me, you know?
Really?
Yeah, because I run cross country, but I don't know.
Do you like, is it like not something you're like passionate about?
No, no, not.
Understandable.
I'd say I'm more like taekwondo, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
you.
But even then, like, I'm not a fighter, but I do fight.
Yeah.
But I'm not a really, like, I wouldn't like go around saying, like, oh, I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
But I would say that's like a really, like, important part of my life that
Hmm.
makes me who I am now. Like, I have that confidence of, like, of having self defense behind me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would have raised myself to do something like that from young, like
Yeah.
since, yeah.
Because I used to hate taekwondo because, like I said, I'm not violent. But now, at older, I
Hmm.
look back and I think, wow, like, I thank my parents a lot. Like,
Yeah.
they put me in a sport at a really young age, and that made me athletic. That made me want to do cross country in freshman year because I'm like, if I could do that, running,
Some slight. Some
soccer,
slight.
running, and kicking, I've done
Some
that,
slight.
you
Roll
know?
cakes, like, for fun. My parents should have put me in something.
I feel like you just give soccer player vibes.
Do I?
You have that soccer build, yeah.
Soccer build
Like
was.
you're like tall, like, like and
Mm.
then she's like, you give aggressive vibes. I'm not gonna lie, like,
Oh my gosh. That's real. Yeah. I was quite aggressive. But oh my gosh. Pero es que I was center and like según porque I was aggressive and stuff. But the centers on the other team were always bigger than me and I'm like, bro, I can't. Oh my gosh. It's a struggle for real. But I did really like soccer. I
yeah.
did. Yeah.
You should continue doing it in college and stuff.
You think?
I
I
feel like
don't
you
know.
could get better. Join club or something.
Mm,
That'd be cool.
that would be cool. Like I feel like because of other people that like started since they were young, I feel like that really like stops me because I'm like I'm just starting right now. There are gonna be people better than me, and I feel like that's what limits me. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
why even start it? Again, like, si lo vas a hacer, hazlo bien, si no, ni lo hagas. Because, like,
From a faraway point, though, you are really young. You're
yeah.
17. You could say, like, when you're 30. Oh, I started when I was 17. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yes. Yeah.
I was watching, no, Toy Story 3, and I saw, like, um, Andy, like, the character Andy,
Yeah.
all grown up. And I'm just like, oh my god, like, when I first watched this movie, I thought, oh my god, like, he's 17, like, that's so old. And now I'm
Oh my god,
17. Oh
yes.
my god. And then I'm also like a Toy Story fanatic.
Yeah.
So I have all the toys. And
Toy
they're just
Story's
there, and I'm
fire.
just looking at them, and I'm like, I'm literally Andy. Like,
Yeah. You literally,
I'm
Andy.
literally
You're
Andy.
literally. That's so sad, though. But, like, seriously, like, in movies, and, like, they were, like, rom-com movies or whatever, and they're, like, 16, and they're, like, already, like, deep in drama, deep in like movie stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like back in the day, I was like, oh my god, they're so old. I can't wait to like be their age. And now I'm just like you're here. Now what? And I'm just like, whoa. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
wow. Like it's surreal to like actually think about like, oh my god, we're gonna go to college. That's crazy to me. Like that's still so crazy.
That is really crazy.
Um,
So this concludes today's podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Tune in episode 3 soon. Please like subscribe.
Or if you're listening on Spotify, you could comment down below.
Yeah.
There's like a little question that pops up. You could comment what you thought
We
about this
read
episode.
all the comments.
Yes, we do. The ones that we get. Like the 5 that we get.
Yeah. That's why we
one.
like anytime someone comments, Andrea sends me a screenshot. She's like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" I'm like,
I didn't think people would comment.
Yeah.
I didn't think anyone would watch.
Please show your support.
Yes. Much love, guys. Bye.